All right, as usual, we start with ABS website. We also have an analyst joining us in the studio to look at the papers this morning. We have Comrade Kanayo Obidibo joining us this morning. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
All right, we'll begin with ABS website this morning, and we have the stories trending there. Anambra government declares today work-free day.
Anambra government to embark on more new road projects.
Stakeholders Lord Obiano on third phase of Community Choose Your Project initiative implementation.
Today is International Women's Day.
Anambra government raises alarm over plot by some politicians to cause religious ethnic crisis.
And finally, eight suspected cults is arrested in Anambra.
And those are the major stories on ABS website. For more stories, details of this and more, go to our website www.absradiotv.com for these and videos as well. So we'll begin with the stories here. Anambra State government declared today work-free day ahead of tomorrow's election. I think it's a positive one.
Well, from this side of the world, it should sound positive anyway. Ordinarily, elections should not, stop the state from functioning. Because we have watched elections in most democracies, and we found out that on the day of election, that people go to vote seamlessly. Nobody, you can still go to work and go to vote at the same time. You can still do your businesses and then as well perform the civic responsibility as a Nigerian, as an Anambra State. I think it's a situation where the government sensed, voters are apathy so that you will not have any excuses. Yes.
Because one will say that it's holiday too many. Because we have had, this is the third one since we started this election process. The first one that was botched, and then the second one that was declared by the federal government, and then this. Okay, but then, just to encourage our people, like you said, okay, because of this issue of voter apathy.
Yeah.
All right, stakeholders, Lord Obiano on third phase of Community Choose Your Project initiative implementation. The state government officially declared yesterday that all Community Choose Your Project, the third phase will commence immediately. And I think, and commendations have started already coming in from stakeholders. How would you review the implementation of Choose Your Project initiative so far from the first phase, second phase, and now we're entering the third phase?
You see, when I came up with the idea of trying to factor in the charter of demand from communities and make sure they are carried along in this present administration, it was a good step in the right direction because he tries to bring governance down to the people. And I can see if you go all over the communities in Anambra State, when you will find projects being done by most communities, and it actually will represent the constituency projects done by the members of the House of Assembly. This community project is more pronounced, is more observed, because I can see some health centers, I found some schools, I found markets being developed by these communities that we are giving these funds. So the third phase is an encouragement, and we wish it continues because it helps to develop our inner cities and rural areas.
Okay. Well, today is International Women's Day. You're not a woman, and I would have loved to ask you how you feel, but don't worry, we're going to talk about that later. Let's look at this before we go. Anambra government raises alarm over plots by some politicians to cause religious and ethnic crisis. What could that mean?
That's good. So Women's Day celebration is good, particularly to remind our mothers of their duties, of their role, both in their family, individual families, and then the society at large.
Very important. government. And then the religious and ethnic crisis that the state government has on. Please allow.
That is one thing that is bothering this country, because the polarity of this country actually makes it that we talk about religion, we talk about, like in Russia, like in some other countries, you don't talk about religion. It doesn't affect the functions of the state.
Let's go.
All right, we'll move on now to the Daily Times. And on Daily Times, we have PDP has questions to answer on squandered wealth. Buhari describes PDP's 16-year rule as irresponsible, says it wasted $16 billion on power. Salaries, pension payment are finest hour with Buhari Waba, that's NLC national president. PDP to Buratai, stop pitching military against Nigerians. We also have there, Saturday polls, tough time awaits talks, ballot box snatchers, IGP. Tribunal reserves judgment on Osun governorship election petition. Nigeria loses $6 billion to child violence annually, says federal government. And CBN, EFCC collaborate to tackle economic crimes. Those are the major stories we have on the front page of the Daily Times. All right, let's look at the issue of PDP has questions to answer on squandered wealth. Buhari, the president is raising alarms again over the 16 years of PDP non-performance. Do you think it's still relevant? We'll continue to dwell on that.
Of course, it is not relevant. After 3 years and some months that the president has been on seat, and we have institutions that actually deal with corrupt practices in this country, and for the presidency to be talking about, trying to wind back the hand of the clock. Otherwise, these institutions that are in place would have taken steps. If there are consequences, if the rule of law, the court is there, and if anybody is found guilty, he should be charged. This blame game should stop. I don't know why we are still dwelling on the 16 years. After all, countries like Rwanda had a genocide. And after genocide, Paul Kagame came up. He wasn't dwelling on the country's past. And today, they have been adjudged Kigali is the most cleanest city in the world. They have just launched their rocket on Friday. And they have digitalized their institutions to the primary level, and they are actually boosting digital technology to the extent that they are becoming the first. They have just come out of the genocide. So let us not dwell on it anyway.
Someone wants to join us in the studio. Hello. Okay, let's continue. There's a stop pitching military against Nigerians.
And the writers there says deployment of soldiers for elections is triggering crime against humanity. How do you see that one?
Yes, because we are in civil society. We are in a democratic era. Nigeria is not under military rule. The police, the civil defense, and the DSS, they are there. I think we have to divorce Nigerian security under civil society from a militarized situation when there was insurgents or there was war. But this time around, the Nigerian people expect that the police, which actually polices the civil society, should be involved. We don't see where soldiers are being drafted when the Americans are having election, or the UK election, or even the Senegalese election. We didn't see their gendarmes all over. So the military, we should, de-emphasize more in trying to put the military on the civilians. Morning.
Good morning. Go on.
Thank you. Good morning to the resource person.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Yeah.
morning, Barrister.
This is Engineer John. I'm calling from Oka this morning.
Okay, go on.
Okay.
John Paul from Oka.
I just want to talk about the question the APC is wanting the PDP to answer. What I'm trying to say this morning is that this government haven't been elected. I think it's time for them to just stop this blaming game or whatever. It is necessary that PDP has to do. But let's not use this opportunity. This is a time now for them to formulate policies that will concentrate on the existing infrastructure and works that put in place to the government. So that it doesn't become blaming game. They have to know that not to be advertising that if it is a project to be handled. So let them concentrate on trying to formulate policies and concentrate on existing work that PDP has done over the 15 years it is talking about. That is 5 years. It's the only one that
All right.
the issue of the military during election, I don't think it's necessary.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, John Paul.
Police are there to do their work. I think they have to be removed.
Thank you very much, John Paul.
God bless you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, let's look at the next paper we have here. We have the Punch newspaper. On the front page, major banner headline there, no certificate of return for candidates declared winner under duress. INEC, commission to cancel votes where communities reject card readers. REC. We also have Lassa fever death toll hits 93. Ogun landlord attacks neighbor, blinds him over security dues. Those are the stories. We have PDP lashes Buhari as president, insists party wasted Nigeria's resources. MTN records growth to list on NSE in June. And several other stories there. Polls, EU, ECOWAS observers meet Buratai over security preparations. All right, let's look at the major story there. No certificate of return for candidates declared winner under duress. When I saw this story yesterday, I was bothering. Constitutionally speaking, did INEC or does INEC have the right to stall issuing certificate of return under this condition?
Well, you see, when there's an infringement on the Electoral Act, and if it is properly observed and reported by the officials of INEC, they should be able to wield the big stick on those politicians who try to, circumvent the law of the Electoral Act. So INEC should actually come up with consequences. The institution where REC or the returning officers or the PS are being held under gunpoint to announce or being driven away or being kidnapped. These are the electoral laws that we'll look at, because if there are no consequences, and I have always, like I said earlier somewhere in a discussion, that we should have an electoral offense commission where offenses should be treated with some kind of acceleration and then consequences meted out, so people will see it and will serve as a deterrent to others not to continue, in any act that will involve disturbance during the elections.
Someone wants to join us. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, your name and where you're calling us from.
Okay, I am Ibe Sunday calling from Onitsha.
Okay, Sunday from Onitsha. Go on.
Okay, I want to speak on the president's statement on PDP for 15 years. I feel that is a kind of taking us backward. He should as well give account of his office when he was the DPF chairman and the military head of state, his activities then, just as the guest Mr. Didi was saying, I feel we have passed the era of going backwards. What does it have for Nigerians? What can he do for now? Taking us forward. Okay, let him say president about the governance. Show the PDP, if they are serious, how they would have done it better. Let him show he has every opportunity. Not all the time keeping playing these blame games on Nigerians. Why
Okay,
he has
Sunday.
another things to do.
Okay, Sunday. Thank you. Thank you very much, Sunday. Thank you.
The
So-
future and leave going back and blaming people.
All right, thank you very much, Sunday. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. We'll now, okay.
There's a rider under that, a commission to cancel votes where communities reject card readers. And we know that the INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu, has warned that this election will not recognize any voter card that does not go through card reader. You understand? That in other words, there is only card reader that will be applied in tomorrow's election. And now the REC is warning.
Well,
Because some communities perhaps.
to warn is one thing, and for the functionality of the card reader is another thing. This is a technology, and they know what it means. That why people agitate, why even the INEC is being harassed by people, that what provisions they made for this election has some, hitch here and there. He's like the card reader where it doesn't function and where it takes time. You know what time? It is within a time frame of maybe 9 hours for all these voting activities and processes to be carried out. And you are telling communities that trooped out in the morning by 8 o'clock and their card reader is not functioning and is standing on the line all through the day and they couldn't actually perform. That is a civic responsibility. And you are warning. The onus lies on the INEC to make sure that they supply functionable equipment that will enhance and encourage and actually facilitate voting in all the units.
All right, we have, let's move now to the Nation newspaper. And on front page of the Nation, pools, more alliances in Oyo, Lagos, Kwara, and Ogun. We have EFCC advises tribunal judges, lawyers against stolen funds. Anti-graft war, EFCC faults UK agency. Ex-air chief got $6 billion naira from NAF funds, court told. PDP must explain what happened to our wealth. We also have Sanwo-Olu. Okay, we'll leave that story for now. MTN Nigeria to list on exchange. Police detain SARS operatives. EU observers hail army on pools. We also have Ofyong heads to Budapest. Those are the stories on the front page of the Nation. EFCC advises tribunal judges, lawyers against stolen funds.
EFCC advising lawyers on stolen funds. You see, that's one thing I don't understand. We have institutions, actually, particularly the law court, for any corrupt practice. There are laid down laws. So EFCC reminding the judges of all these funds the institutions that are involved in carrying out their functions, particularly prosecuting those who are found guilty, it doesn't have to come from the EFCC, because once a crime is committed, and it is normal that whoever is involved must face the law, either by being prosecuted, either by being sanctioned, because the laws are there. If the laws are not there, then if EFCC actually wants to prosecute, they should go ahead and prosecute if they have enough evidence.
The story is somehow confusing, because in the body, it said that Magu is warning judges and lawyers involved in election petition tribunals against money laundering.
You see, you don't have to start to warn. Your duty is to catch up with whoever has run foul of the law and prosecute him. What are you warning? Are you warning thieves not to go and steal?
No, perhaps,
But it is for the
it's warning
police.
the judges to be careful not to collect money from the politicians as they
But
go through the
he
tribunals.
cannot substantiate it until the person is caught.
All right. All right, finally, the Guardian newspaper. I think some stories on the Guardian is something we've looked at or we've mentioned earlier, but they're providing new dimensions to it. Anxiety mounts over card readers as states go to polls.
Yeah.
Votes won't count without device, says INEC. Seeks return of stolen machines in Bayelsa. CBN, EFCC seal information sharing deals on economic crimes. Denied equality, women still lag in finance, politics, education. Akwa Ibom government flays APC's war declaration on state presidential elections. What they didn't tell you, the old, okay, I think that's the future. That's the far we would go on the front pages of our national dailies this morning. But the issue of card readers crops up again. How do we, you already said that INEC must find a way to ensure that their card readers work.
Of course.
But when you see the kind of anxieties that come out at these polling stations on the issue of this laxity or failure of the card readers to work, what should be the, well, I say, fire brigade approach to handling such situations when we see failures happening?
You see, we are trying to, come up with a technology that will function. A technology that will function like the card reader, the whatever they call electronics transfer of voting processes. But the point remains that INEC was funded properly. INEC told Nigerians they were going to upgrade their technology. And these failures is INEC problem. And if INEC, you see, that's why sometimes I find the civil society not functioning the way they should. For trying to come up with equipment that does not work and the people are being disencouraged to vote, people should go to court against INEC because they were provided with funds that they would have provided us with all the necessary and functional equipment. They were given the funds, and they should be able to give us these services. It is a disservice to Nigeria if INEC continue to come and complain about card reader. What is card reader all about? Our ATM machines are working all over the places. Why would card readers not work?
Why wouldn't that one work? And even at that, there's still warning that's no vote that do not pass through the card reader will count. That's one problem we're going to face tomorrow, but we'll pray that the card readers will work very well.
All right, that's how far we'll go on newspaper review this morning. We looked at several national dailies and the ABS website, looking at stories making the headlines and that will shape our polity, especially on the elections that will be going on tomorrow. But now we'll move over to our first discussion segment on the show. Good morning, Anambra. Stay with us.